Hey, hello, leaders. This is Paul Grau Jr., and welcome back to Run to Your Leadership Challenges. So, today, and probably for the next few weeks, I'm going to open up the vault and go way back to season number one, nearly, over 2,000 episodes ago. And I'm going to bring out some of the oldies. Also, I want to remind you that there's a brand new podcast that we have. It's called the High Performing Team Podcast for Christian Business Owners. You can download it on any place where you listen to this podcast, and I will include a bunch of links in the show notes. So please make your way over there and subscribe to the new show as well. And in the meantime, enjoy some of the old episodes from the vault. Today's challenge is being intentional. Let's face it, in our busy lives as leaders and with all the responsibilities we have a tendency to try to do multiple things at once. Now, this may work in a few areas, but when it comes to certain things, it can often get us into trouble if we are not fully engaged and intentional. Believe me, this is something I struggle with often, so let's try to run to this challenge together. On a side note, if you ever have helpful tips on how you overcome any of your specific leadership challenges, please feel free to share them with me by emailing me at paulgrau, that's PaulGrau, at currentleadership.com. I'd love to share your challenges in the future on future episodes. So in regards to becoming more intentional, the first thing to do is figure out what areas you need to be more intentional in. Now, to save time today, I'm only going to focus on one area, and it's the one area I struggle with the most when it comes to being intentional. I'm going to give you a few specifics and share some things that I've been trying to help with this challenge. I encourage you to try these and please offer me some additional feedback if you have any. After all, I just requested that we run to this challenge together, right? So here it goes. My number one area where I struggle with intentionality is being intentional with the people who are right in front of me. Now, I know this sounds awful, and I'm sure none of you struggle with this, right? But it's actually quite embarrassing for me to admit this, that I struggle with this. But you know what? It can be challenging me to dedicate every bit of my attention to the person who's right in front of me, even if they're having a conversation with me. So who knows? Maybe you struggle with this too. Are you ever preoccupied with something while somebody's trying to have a conversation with you? Quite frankly, I think our society as a whole struggles with this, but I'm not going to get on my soapbox today. Let's save that for the weekend edition when nobody really tunes in. How's that for a selfish plug for my Saturday edition? Well, if you struggle with the challenge of focusing on the people who are right in front of you, here's my advice. Here's what I've been trying, and maybe it'll work for you too. And believe me, it sounds much easier than it really is. But here you go. You ready? Now don't miss it because it's quick. If you struggle with focusing on the people who are right in front of you, try this. Start looking people right in the eye. Now, I know it sounds very simple, but you know what? When you are looking somebody in the eye, it's very difficult to look somewhere else. After all, if you're looking at them in the eye, you're not looking at anywhere else, right? So you can begin to focus on what they're actually saying. To take this tip a notch further, practice reflective listening. You know, that's when you hear somebody say something and then you repeat it back. So they say something and then you say, so what I hear you saying is blah, 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 and just basically repeat what they said. Now that gets you into the conversation a little bit more and it gets you deeper into the conversation. So look at their eyes and hear what they're saying, reflect it back. Another simple tip that I've been trying is, and quite frankly, this may tick a few people off, but put down the dang cell phone. Man, there is simply not many things more rude or ruder, whatever you say, than somebody looking at their dang cell phone while you're talking to them, right? Can you relate to me? Well, if that makes you ticked off, what do you think people are thinking if you're doing that same thing? So put down the cell phone, listen to people, look at them in the eye. Finally, the last tip is eliminate all the distractions, such as telephones, computers, TVs, etc. Now, here's a bonus tip for all you leaders for at home. When your spouse or significant other is talking to you, turn off the TV. Heck, in today's modern technology, all you have to do is hit the pause button. How easy is that? But never, ever, ever try to have a conversation with your spouse if the TV's on. Now, I know I'm probably talking to all the guys out there on this one because I know from experience, But this is one tip that can truly save your marriage. Hit the pause button. Look at your wife in the eyes when she's talking to you and have a conversation. Be intentional with the conversation, okay? So, well, that's a wrap for today. Challenge you to take a close look at how intentional you are with the people right in front of you. That includes coworkers, friends, families. Start taking steps to get more intentional with them. Build stronger relationships with the people right in front of you. Please share this with all the leaders that you know. And as I mentioned earlier, please email me with your specific leadership challenges. I'd be glad to offer some tips on your challenges in future episodes. Hey, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed this episode from the vault. Come on back tomorrow to hear another episode of an oldie but goodie. Until then, run to your challenges. We'll see you.